And then when I finished the first edition of the album, I thought to myself, do I want to make the same album as I've Really Never Been Better? And I'm like, no, I don't. So I just changed my writing formula. So I was just really exploring it, like just experimenting with the sounds. Cause I'm like, I don't know if I want to give people the same album. Like, if I have a new situation with Lex and Lex is supporting me with my new sound, with me experimenting, doing whatever I want, I should just hit the gas on them.
Microphone check, 1-2, what is this? It's the 5'7" assassin in the podcast business. I am your host, Rohan Patra, the rap music plug at your service. Here we are again at the end of a rainbow. In the current era of music and hip hop, there's gotta be more rappers than at any other point in human history. And so, while that leads to a ton of amazing creative rap music being made, as an artist, it's increasingly hard to stand out. The market has never been more saturated, which is why artists like today's guest have impressed me and many others by immediately carving out their own one-of-one lane as a key MC to watch. Hailing from Charlotte, North Carolina, Lord Jah-Monte Ogbon is electric. His outlandish rap style has made him one of the most distinct voices in all of rap. His blend of wit, sharp honesty, and sense of humor have powered some great projects such as Beautifully Black with Navy Blue, his strong collaborative albums with Sadhugold, and now his latest record, As of Now, which is not only arguably his best, but has been released on the renowned Lex Records label, seeing Jah-Monte under the brightest spotlight so far in his entire career. In this episode, we discuss the impact of his recent signing with Lex, his unorthodox rap style, and the creative process behind his excellent new record, As of Now. The Rap Music Plug podcast presented by QLC TV is the remedy to the I don't have anything good to listen to problem. Through in-depth artist interviews, album reviews, and general rap commentary on the best that the underground rap scene has to offer, this is your one-stop shop to knowing what to add to your queue, play next, or pop into your record player. Welcome to the show. Jah-Monte, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. You know, since last week or so, I feel like the North Carolina rap scene's been busy. You dropped last Friday, Jermaine dropped yesterday. How's the reception felt like for As of Now for you to date?
It's pretty good. People are supporting the project. I set expectations high. I was hoping for 1 million streams first week, first 7 days. So, yeah, I didn't check the numbers yet, so I don't know. But it's not feeling real 1 million first week. The vibe is not feeling like 1 million first week, but it's up there. There's been a lot of reviews, a lot of press for it. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. I mean, how has maybe not with like the numerics, how's the feeling from fans and all that? Has it been pretty positive?
Yeah, it's been very positive with the fans. Now I'm breaking into new territory and new audiences, so everybody who's not in my fan base has been giving their opinions, with the Instagram ads and stuff. So a lot of people from there is giving their opinions. They
cool.
Commenting on my voice, all type of things. So mixed reviews, but everybody on my side, they're supporting the album. I saw one review about the beat switches on Twitter from some random person.
Was it like a positive, like this is sweet that there's a lot of beat switches, or was it critical?
It was very critical. Very, very critical.
Damn, man, that's one of my favorite parts about the album.
Exactly. He didn't know what he was talking about. He just talking to talk.
I also find that like a lot of times with rappers, I feel like one of the first things that people do when they're like just getting introduced to an artist that has like a voice that isn't as typical as other traditional rappers, I find it takes people some time. I noticed this with Danny Brown, even in myself. Like I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then now, obviously, like a lot of people, I love the guy. I think he makes great music. but that voice can be a sticking point. But I don't know. I think that's one of your strengths. And when we get more into the album, I feel like some of the things you did with your voice on this specific album were just like really cool.
Fact.
Just like really made shit pop,
Yeah,
like and feel memorable.
I agree. Voices are important. So
So I understand that, obviously like you're from Charlotte, North Carolina. You spent a lot of times also in NYC making connections with some key figures
fact.
there, collaborating with a lot of great artists there. Um, but focusing specifically on, where you're from and where you spent all your time here, like how did the area of Charlotte, the community, the art scene, like shape you as an artist as far as like how your tastes are and how your ear is as a musician?
It really didn't shape me at all, bro. Surprisingly, um, a lot of my shaping came from being in New York. I feel like Charlotte was just a matter of me planting my feet, me being able to get my voice out, and being able to like create a brand that I can take somewhere. I feel like everything I did in Charlotte was just a matter of um, building to take this thing somewhere else. So I was kind of always an outcast sometimes with my sound in Charlotte. With certain scenes I would be in, a lot of people would be rapping on like a lot of 2009 Atlanta club beats, and I would be the guy with the MF Doom instrumental until I like entered certain like subcultures in Charlotte. Like I found out through the internet, I found out there was a beat scene. There was like more of a DJ scene here, and I was able to like finagle my way in there. And there was a group of people that I met. There were I can't remember what the group was called. Damn, what was this group called? Fresh Baked Goods. That was the name of a clothing brand. Fresh Baked Goods,
Mm,
and they threw a show called Good Stock. So it was a clothing brand that threw shows, and I found out about them, and I was able to like get in good with them. And when I got good in with them, I started throwing shows myself around Charlotte and linking them with a lot of artists, putting them on shows, and I was able to take that formula to New York, to New Jersey, to Chicago, to DC, So it was really just like beginning moments here, just like really watching the world. I was really watching what a lot of artists in Chicago was doing, just really watching what everybody else was doing elsewhere, and just molding myself here to be able to go elsewhere. Because Charlotte has a great scene, it has a good community. It's just full of artists. The industry isn't here yet. So I needed
mm.
to go where the industry was. Well, at least at that time, the industry wasn't here. Now it's a little different, but it's still not like New York,
Yeah, and especially for hip hop, like
especially for hip
it's
hop.
hard to compete with that. And I know like when I was looking into some of your past interviews and things that you've done, I think you had mentioned specifically it was like a Ninth Wonder beat tape that really kind of changed a lot of things or just like got you really inspired. Could you talk some more about like what you kind of like some of your more formative records or artists were as you were kind of growing into who you are now?
I can't even remember the ninth Wonder beat tape. Ninth Wonder just had a label. He just had the Jamla label, and he had a lot of North Carolina artists. You already know he had the group Little Brother.
Mm-hmm.
He had signed Rhapsody, and he just had a lot of people under Jamla. That was really like inspiring for me, seeing Crisis, seeing the Justice League. So when I used to make like all kind of music before 2011, I used to make auto tune stuff. I used to make like bass music like Lil B. I used to make a lot of like weed smoking music like Currency. And then I met somebody who just changed my way of thinking. And then from there, I met somebody who introduced me to a different school of thought. Like I grew up Baptist Christian, and then I met a guy who was like more into like his blackness, and he introduced me to a lot of stuff. And from there, I started listening to a lot of more conscious friendly music, like Poor Righteous Teachers, X Clan, whoever you can think of. And then from there, that kind of like it moved me from like late '90s to early 2000s hip hop. So like Madlib, Knife
Right.
Wonder, all those producers, and that's how I was able to like find my sound. But I kind of already knew what my sound was when I heard Redman There's a Dark Side, and when I was like 13, 14. So I just want to say more recently when I started like really moving as an artist outside of being a bedroom artist, the Knife Wonder, Jay Dilla, all those sounds kind of like helped me formulate the sound I have now, or the sound I was leading with.
Yeah, Redman, there's a dark side. Like, yeah, that's such a man. Like, I was such a visionary, and I can definitely hear some of like the eccentricities that make you a real special artist. I can see like that kind of lineage from a Redman. Such an expressive artist. I think that's like he can make any kind of song, and there's always just like immediate charisma, personality. Like that's that special stuff. It's hard to teach people.
Facts. Just gotta pick up on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually recently was like really in a Redman binge like a couple months ago. Man, that guy's so sick. You know, like before where you are right now in the present, like what was there like a particular record or maybe like a particular project that you put out where it changed from like music changed from being like this thing you really enjoy as a hobby to being like, man, I gotta really pursue this as like a legitimate career path for me. Like where did that kind of light switch moment happen?
I think it was years ago, man. Not anything recent. I think it was just seeing people around me. I've always been ambitious and goal driven to do music. I don't know. I just been always been passionate. It's like throwing shows. When I sing, I remember when a friend of mine had this local rapper music on his PSP when we were in high school. So that inspired me to really go crazy because I'm like, oh shit, you listening to somebody you know. So that kind of like opened my mind. So you don't really have to be a star to have fans. Um,
Hmm.
my dad used to own the club, so I was able to see that side of the music industry, club life, and I was underage, just sitting behind the bar. So that inspired me. Um, I want to say most recent though, when I seen people out of my city getting signed, like a rapper named Luke got signed to Dreamville, so that was just like oh snap. And then
Oh
the
yeah,
baby
yeah.
got signed to Interscope, and it was just like oh shit. Like I was always serious and really doing this shit, but when the baby got signed to Interscope, it felt like okay, I can get signed to Interscope because I went to the same high school with the baby, so a lot of his inner circle friends I know. So it's just like to see them in
Hmm.
SRTs and big ass chains and bracelets and shit. And Charlotte is just like, oh, this shit can be done. Um, but I want to say most recent, maybe my album Alkaline Water. When I made Alkaline Water, that was my
Hmm.
introduction into like selling physicals and getting Bandcamp money. Then when
Hmm.
I want to say I released Alkaline Water, then I released a CD called God Body and Soul. Those two albums like paved the way. And my album Jury Rap, those three albums paved the way for my Infinite Wisdom album with Sadhugold. And then once
Hmm.
Infinite Wisdom came out, it was pretty much open to tour the East Coast.
Yeah, I know exactly, and you know, like one of the things that I appreciate about this new record, as of now, is like I really get this sense of confidence from you. I think it really permeates the record, and in many ways, I imagine it's spearheaded by the signing to Lex Records. This album just feels like a an event, and I think your demeanor presents itself in such a light on the album, and it's just kind of invigorating. It's inspiring, and you know, like given the signing, given the album's out finally, like do you feel in any way that you've kind of like arrived or hit this new level in your career?
I feel like to other people I may have, but to me, no. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like right now it's just all perspective and perception. So because to be honest, bro, I've always had this confidence. I've always had like this demeanor. I've always experimented with up tempo records. I've always played with my voice. It's just I was just real limited on what I gave people. I knew what space I was in as far as indie underground, as far as like Griselda, Rock Marcy, and them being like the head spirit of this scene that we're in. I was real smart about what I decided to release. But it's just like a lot of people just like, yo, I love the growth in your writing and this and that. And it's like, bro, I've been doing this shit forever. You know? I've been writing
Mm-hmm.
like up tempo trap records, recording them. I have songs in the studio right now from like 2017. And again, my breakout album was 2019 with Sadhugold. But before that, I was rapping on up tempo, triplet flows, doing melodic records, doing like heartfelt songs. So it's really, I feel like everybody else is really catching on. But I've always been
Mm-hmm.
in a place where it's like, okay, no, I have a lot more ideas I can present to the world. It's just, is this space ready for these ideas that I have? Um, and with me being with Lex, it was an opportunity for me to gain newer fans for all the resources we put in behind my album. So I feel like now was the best time to let people hear these new ideas and these new sounds. Or these sounds that's new to them, excuse me, but old for me. Because the record 360 photo booth, I got that beat from Navy Blue a long time ago when I made my album Beautifully Black. Again, I just made a conscious decision to not put any trap records on that album because I know what my fan base want to hear. But yeah, man, I've kind of like always been in this bag. But I feel like to everybody else now, everybody is just seeing it come up. It's like before, I had like this little, I had a run of telling everybody I was the best rapper in Charlotte, and everybody was just like, yeah, okay. And then Pitchfork posts, Jah-Monte might be the best rapper in Charlotte, and everybody's like, yo, you might really be the best rapper in Charlotte. And it's like, oh, really? You think so? And it's like, I told you that,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody else had to come and validate it. So it's like with the Lex situation, um, we were doing pretty, we were doing decent independently. When I say we, I mean me, but my whole team. We were
Mm-hmm.
doing pretty decent independently, but when Lex came in the picture, Lex just rammed the numbers up on some, yo, we got this. We know what we doing. We've been doing this forever. So it's like Lex just ran the numbers up. As far as in like budgets. Because before I wouldn't have no budget for an album. I probably
Mm.
have like I pay Timepiece Tracks how much ever he want. I pay Abigail to do my cover. And then after mixing mastering and my cover and some cassettes, it's just me until Copenhagen Crates, Fuck Rap, all those other people came into play and started offering me vinyl licensing situations. So I was able to use some of that money to do other things. But Lex just made it more official. Like they kind of took me out of the rat race. You know, they took me out of
Interesting.
the rat race of the 250 vinyl thing of just like this the thing that all the underground artists we love go through.
Mm-hmm.
Like um,
And you're speaking on kind of like the rat race. Like obviously this comes with a this signing came with obviously like a financial benefit for you, and I can and I bring that up because I know like you've been pretty outspoken about like how you identify as a father first and
right.
foremost, you know, like before artist, before rapper, whatever, and that being a parent drives that work ethic. I think that you've been talking about. It seems like you're very goal oriented, and you just are you've come with that kind of discipline in your career. And with that in mind, like how gratifying does it feel to be able to make a move like this and provide more for your daughter, your family through your art, like through the thing that you been putting your like blood, sweat, and tears in for so
It
long.
feels good. Um, Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling. When I got my advance, we turned up. We ain't turned up too crazy, but we did a little something. I was able to pay some things off, pay some things up, save a lot. I'm waiting for the 6 7 figure check. When I get the 7 figure check, we'll run this conversation back. We'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely run this conversation back. But I'm ready for the check to where it's like wherever I go, I'm covering everything. You know, it's like, oh, we at the bar tonight?
That's
Bet.
fire.
Who in here fuck with my music? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we need whole gang need new shoes. So we need to coordinate when we step out, you know. Or just have funding, to release a lot of people's music or to throw parties for people who
Mm-hmm.
probably can't afford it.
Like throughout your career, one of those trademark aspects of your music that we kind of touched on when we mentioned Redman earlier is that kind of like hyper expressive, outlandish, almost rap style. That's often like very funny, but also toes this line that I find interesting between like frenetic energy and this grounded introspection, this sharp wit,
Yeah.
this honesty. Why do you feel that you gravitate towards this kind of like offbeat, unorthodox, unique rap style? Like, does it unlock something for you creatively that is special or rewarding to you?
I feel like just the way I rap or the way I used to rap, if you want to call it like offbeat, whatever, it comes from just like kicking styles, on some like freestyle hip hop shit, just not being too structured. Yeah, it just really come from just like freely kicking styles and just wanting to be respected on some MC shit. So, and I used to study Big Boy flow a long time ago, Big Boy from Outkast, so that probably plays a part. Yeah, bro, just trying to be as different as possible. Just trying certain new flows, rapping on certain type of samples a lot of people wouldn't rap on. For the longest, I used to say my music isn't performance music. My music is you just sit down and listen to it because it's kind of hard to get this shit off on stage. Like with some of the like, what do you call it? It's not elevator music. What is it? Easy listening.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, easy
yeah.
listening. Yeah,
A
easy
lot of my
listening. Yeah.
samples were like easy listening samples, and that's kind of hard to like really perform in front of people. So a lot of my joints, I feel like was just listening to music. Was just listening to music. It's things you listen to in the studio, listen to in the car, listening with the homies. Not really like performance music, but I don't know. I think it's just the listening to Doom, listening to Redman, studying Big Boy, Outkast, just studying the greats who were deemed like nice 5 mics in the source type rappers is what made my style the way it is. But now I'm trying to sharpen it. I'm trying to sharpen it and just have it tight, tucked in line with like top 40 records.
Yeah, like one of the things I think on your you've been doing these like posts diving into certain records off the new album, and like one of the things you mentioned was that Baby Mother, seeing her perform live inspired you to do more up-tempo beats, and something that we do see evidence of on this album.
Hmm.
um what was it about seeing her do that? Because I actually have seen her live, and it is inspiring. She's fucking amazing. Like what made you kind of embrace it? Like why the change?
Just to see the way that the crowd reacted to it, it was more of the crowd. Just to see how the crowd reacts to a turned up performance, and then the more of a hip hop performance. It was like, okay, I need to lean more into this side of of the sonics of the music for live shows. Honestly, I was just gonna like it gave me confidence to really release some of the trap stuff or the up tempo records. In my mind, I'm just like, no, I'm gonna just use this energy for shows. Like when I perform, I'm gonna just perform the trap records. And then I thought, it wouldn't hurt to put these songs on the album. So I just found a way to make them fit. But I want to say just like her stage presence, one, and the way the crowd reacted to it, and the way she controlled the crowd was just like no other, bro. People not doing that, especially not people rapping off loops.
Yeah,
Especially not people rapping off like drumless loops, unless the crowd already know, you know. Unless you like Rock Marcy or West Side Gun, one of them. But the way those people was moving, bro, I
yeah.
was like, oh shit. And then the crowd she brought out, I was like, oh shit, there's some beautiful people in here. People smelling good, looking good. I was like, this is inspiring. Because if you go to hip hop shows, excuse me, you know, you can go to a lot of hip hop shows, and
Oh yeah, I
it's
know.
real dusty. It's
I
real
know.
dusty.
When I saw her in Toronto, because that's where I'm from. When I saw her in Toronto, she was performing with Fly Anakin. So like that was, I remember that show just being like, damn, I'm seeing people that I've never seen at any show I've been to my entire time in Toronto, and it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I felt very like, yeah, I didn't feel at home like I do seeing the same like 30 people I always
right.
do. It was a
She bring she
good
bring
time.
out the girls who like Sailor Moon. The girls who like Sailor Moon. I was like, okay, I like this energy. I can see myself performing around these people. So it was really just a confidence boost to just like, yo, maybe you should put some of these up tempo records out that you've been working on because it's obviously working. And but to be able to see it in the indie underground space, it kind of just like made me more confident to release my stuff. Or just to say, man, I don't care what people think. Like, I'm gonna drop it. Because it's certain I'm used again, I started this shit for respect. There was a point in time where just seeing somebody nod their head and somebody give me a dap after the show and tell me that I'm nice, that's really all I really needed. Because I don't do this shit for clout. I don't do this for none of
Mm,
this. I just like to know that people think my skills are up to par, you know, because I practicing flows. I've been doing this for quite a while. Um, so it's like, okay, when people used to give me that head nod or that, or it's like, yo, that shit fire. It's like, okay, as long as my shit was like up to New York standards when it come to hip hop, I was alright with. But being in that space for like 5 to 6 years, now it's just like, okay, what's next? Like, what's going to separate me from all of these artists that I love, right? Like an example, Rome Streets. I
mm.
love Rome Streets. Rome Streets gave me a verse. He inspired me. But it's just like, Rome Streets is doing some things that I want to do. He's, you know what I mean, like working with Conductor, working with. Not saying that I'm following his moves or anything, but it's just like I'm always gonna be like the 15th artist in line after all of these people. You know, who's kind of like always popular before, who's been popular before you, and it's kind of like got a hot moment now. So I had to think like, damn, what can I do to not separate, but what can I do to like get me in the space to when I can get some kind of like to where I can advance and excel in this space without having to open up for certain people. Like I opened up for Bodie James like 3 or 4 times. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And it's just like the way that I'm going, the way that I was going is like I'm gonna be opening up 30 more times. You know what I mean? Until this really pops off. And then again, it's just like what's popping off for you. All I know is a lot of comments I see. The fans be like, "Yo, Alchemist tape coming. Yo, Madlib album coming. Yo, this. You feel me?" And it's just like, damn, what's the other side of that? I want people to say, yo, Newport Jazz Festival is coming. It's like, yo, your overseas tour is coming to like really, I guess, maximize my potential as an artist. So yeah, I just had to start exploring with different sounds. So it could be because before my direction was just a one-way street, you know, just
Mm.
boom, like maybe I'll sign with Griselda, maybe something. It's just like this was being presented. Like maybe I get a Ka feature, rest in peace. Maybe I get a beat from somebody, get my records in fat beats. Just the whole that just that one direction of what some of all we know. So I was just able to flip that and go a different way.
Yeah, like you were talking earlier when I was asking you about kind of like your rap style more specifically and how a lot of it um a lot of it's kind of like from this like just like kicking styles, like freestyle hip hop
Yeah.
shit. And it makes me kind of intrigued about the way you write your process and all of that because you know, how do you balance maintaining that type of like degree of spontaneity and like charm, that electricity that comes, I think, from that energy, that freestyle hip hop shit, with still being like intentional and thoughtful in your writing to where like it's coherent and it, comes across and makes some kind of statement.
I feel like I have different processes for different records. Like when I wrote Okay, I Know Who My Twin Flame Is, I was very on par, like rapping from a past relationship. So that's from the heart, mind, body, and soul. A record like I'm signed to Lex, now I'm up. I'm just kicking shit, you know what I'm saying? That do you like reason for no reason. So it's just different. I guess the intention is different. Um, but a lot of records I don't go back on, you know. I just write them and that's the song. I write them and record them. Some records I write the day of. A lot of records I write the day of and just record them. Some records I take a little more time with, or some records really be from the heart, so they come out a little differently. Like, okay, I Know Who My Twin Flame Is. Let Me Reflect. So You Really Don't Miss Me. What other kind of records on the album I'm thinking of? There's like a few records on the album, and then you have records like Texting Is Fine Shit for a Month. That's where the humorous kicking shit comes from. The Instagram highlights. That's where like the humorous like unorthodox style come in. So it's a balance. It's like I have the stream of consciousness stuff, and then I have like the oh no, this is real life. This is what I'm dealing with. Relationship type stuff, or if I'm rapping about people in my life being excuse me, passed away. It's like a balance. It's like uh the shit talking balance, and then it's just like the oh no, this is what's really going on in my life. So it's kind of easy. It's just like some
Yeah.
shit I can just think of like oh no, this hot. Like I'm thinking of like just metaphors and shit. Like I'm hot as the sun. I'm fly as a bird. Like I can get in that bag and just write verses quickly, or I can just be like nah, this person ghosted me and it fucked me up mentally. You know, it's just like the intention just a little different.
Mm-hmm. Pardon the interruption, but if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe, like the video, and hit the bell as well. And if you're checking this out on podcast platforms, please follow the show, leave a rating, leave a review if possible. This will help the algorithm do its thing and get more people tapped in. Thank you so much. Now back to the show. Yeah, and like let's go keep going in that vein. As of now, your Lex Records debut dropped last Friday on the 30th of Jan. To me, this is a very reflective album. Like you said, it's really balanced, which I do want to get to as well. But there is definitely this like consistent idea of like reflecting on your past, reflecting on
Yeah.
relationships, and it feels like you're taking stock of your life and really your like career at this very moment, aka as of now. Which is a very good title, and it leads to some just amazing moments where I feel like the perspective you share is rich in detail. It's vivid, but also gives off that personality and just gives a glimpse into who you are as a
Yeah.
person, which I think is interesting. What do you hope listeners like understood or learn about you after sitting with this album?
Hmm. That I'm a diverse artist. That I have something to say when I want to. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know what I want people to. I just want people to listen to the music, enjoy it, share it, and just think about it. Like if it makes you think. Like if you ever been in a relationship, if you got somebody in your life who's locked up, who's been killed, or if you just hustling and you tired of hustling, I feel like there's moments in my album to where I just want people to be able to relate and just humanize me rather than people seeing me as hmm, how do I feel like people see me? Just like as something, like I see people in real life and they talk to me about Instagram in real life. They come to me and say, "I see what you're doing on Instagram or this," instead of just saying like, "Hey man, how you doing? Like, how's your mind, body, and soul?" It's always like people treating you like the next that they come up. So I just want people to realize that people go through stuff and people just out here to have a good time. As far as me, like I'm not out here to just be talking about Instagram in real life. I don't know. I just want people to just like to feel like, damn, I can relate to this. Like, damn, this person is like a real human. He's going through this. He's not just somebody on Instagram that I see posting content. Like, I want people to respect the content and respect the privacy of real life at the same time, and just enjoy themselves. Hopefully, they like the music enough to where they tell their friends, tell their family. What do I want people to take from it? Just like, what's the word? The authenticity, yeah, the
Authenticity.
authenticity of it.
I do feel like also, on that point about, people go through stuff, but, there's also like I think going back to that balance again, like I really found it interesting how much relationships came up because those were some of my favorite moments, like Twin Flame,
Mm.
like let me reflect. Like I just think the way you were able to paint those scenes, those pictures were just super like, oh yeah, I totally get what you mean. Or like, or in some cases, oh yeah, I've been in that exact position. And yeah, that does suck.
That's what
And
I do best.
I just feel like that I kept finding myself saying that.
That's what I do best, man. I can do this shit all day, all year. I've had a lot of relationships and situationships, or a lot of people around me have been in relationships or situationships, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to write about that. Or it's just like, oh, something that happened. I feel like for me, it's just like being ghosted. So it's like somebody ghosted me, or somebody just like writing me off like so easily. It's just like, bro, that shit. I be loving it. I be loving when that shit happens because I'm like, oh, I got a classic on the way. I got some shit to talk about. So it would be some like I'd be messed up in a moment. I go through it, and I think the only bad thing about it is I sit in those emotions for the sake of my music, for the sake of
Mm.
writing these songs. Like some fucked up shit have happened, and I'd be like, I have to internalize it. I'd be like, damn, what did I do? Because I know I'll be fucking up. I'm the first to say I fuck up. I'd be like, damn, what did I do? What did they do? What could we have like both done to make this better? And once I start thinking about that, I just get to writing. And then I'm like, oh, I already know what my fans like kind of on the relationship side. I know what my fans want from me. I know what they want to hear. Um I feel like I always just explain like the downside of a situationship and kind of like play victim. And it's just like that's like a
Mm-hmm.
recipe for a hit, bro. Not even a hit, but just like a classic. Cause it's like, damn. And me, I have a lot of women vocals on my songs, so it just ties it all in together. I have a woman get on the song and just be like, you don't really like me or something like that, and it just be like, classic. We out of here. So yeah, bro. Relationships, man. I really, bro. Between me and you, bro, I really get that shit from Ja Rule, man. Ja Rule's album, Are You?
Really?
Yeah, Ja Rule. Well, always putting women on my records. I got that from Ja Rule a long ass time ago. Ja Rule was one of my favorite rappers. His album, R-U-L-E. If you listen to R-U-L-E, I mean, just look at Ja Rule's track record. Always on time. All his records, they got women on them.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
he rapping some lovey from the heart shit. So it's just like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
I think in 2007 I started doing that shit. I took heed of that and just like, oh, okay. When my shit really start picking up, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna just do it in my way. So I really got to give Ja Rule his credit on that, bro, because he really inspired me. Records from Ja Rule, like Caught Up, Never Thought, What's My Name. These are all records from Ja Rule that I'm just like, no, I want to like remake these records. or like remake the energy
Mm.
that Irv Gotti put into these records, because Ja Rule can give you a crazy party record like Living It Up with Mary J. Blige, or no, Mary J. Blige not on Living It Up, but he can give you a crazy record like Living It Up on some party shit, and then Ja Rule can give you a Down on Me record with Lil Mo. So it's just like
Mm.
that on some Redman shit was part of my like music DNA. It's just like, oh no, my records have to hit like this. I have to always have that woman voice. See, I just took it to the extreme. Ja Rule didn't do it on every song. I'm damn near trying to do it on every song. Like I need a woman vocal on mine, because it's just I see when people I've gotten a chance to see people hear listen to my shit for the first time, and they hear a voice and they be like, "Who's that?" And sometimes people think they know. They're like, "Was that Mariah? What's that? Such and such?" And I'm like, "Nah, you don't even know." It's like the skits on my album. Everybody think that's somebody they know, and I'll be like, "Y'all don't know nothing." So
That's funny.
yeah, man, Murder Inc.
Yeah. I wish I was a rapper so I could see a bright side to getting ghosted or heartbreak. You know that's kind of a nice thing.
Yeah, and I also move and live fast, bro. As an artist, I move and live fast, man. And I was
Mm.
just able to be in some situations, man, to where it's just like, damn, me and this person might not be together for a long time, but we gonna have a good time, and it's gonna make for a good record.
Keeping with that theme of like reflection, when you listen back to like in your older records, what do you hear now on a record like as of now that you didn't hear on those past projects? Like what are some things that you feel like you've either improved on or just have changed with time?
I feel like my next fewer projects, those changes will come. On this album, on as of now, I can't really say I see a difference. I feel like I literally did everything the same way, besides putting out the up tempo trap records. But as far as
Mm.
how I write, how I record, everything has been the same. I want to say maybe just like the sequence of this album, the way it's just a lot of ups and downs. The way it starts hip hop, then goes into up tempo, and then goes into a relationship type segments. I feel like that's something I've
Mm.
never done before. Like I've always sequenced my albums a certain way, but I never really did it based on the way it feels, the way it felt to me. Like I've never did like,
Yeah.
okay, this section is for relationships, this section is for the club, this section is for the car. I think this is the first time I did something like that. And this is the first time that I put, I guess, women on the damn near majority of all the records. But I feel like my next following albums is when we'll really see a change. Like me being more thoughtful, me knowing the song by heart before I record it, me practicing the song 2, 3 weeks. Like changing it,
Interesting.
adding bridges. I think going forward, that's just what I want to do. I want to like really up up the standard on my production, like intros, outros, bridges, hooks,
Mm.
everything just feeling more like fuller. Because there's a difference between like when you hear a no disrespect. Okay, I shouldn't even name drop. I name drop a lot, but that's just because I'm trying to compare. But I love everybody. That's like hearing.
No, yeah, yeah,
There's a
totally,
difference
totally.
between a what can I say? Damn, I don't want to compare nobody. But it's just like there's a difference between the underground record and the like God Fahim atmosphere. And I love God Fahim. He gave me a verse. I bought a verse from him. But there's a difference between a God Fahim record, and then there's a difference between the fucking I shouldn't even say God Fahim. There's a difference between a like Nicholas Craven beat and a Just Blaze beat. As far
Mm.
as like how it feels and how it sounds. Now Nicholas Craven is the GOAT. I love Nicholas Craven. But it's like when you touring,
There's just a
when
difference.
when you touring and you hearing him and you're listening to shit through these speakers. Okay, I give you a great example. I remember Benny the Butcher came to Charlotte and did a show at the Fillmore, right? So Benny had did all his early shit, all his Derringer shit, all his just like random producers he know that probably produced his shit. But when them Hit Boy beats came on, totally difference, bro.
That the first song on that Hit Boy Burden of Proof, the intro is such a good
Bro,
song. The guitar one, oh my
bro.
god, I love that shit. I love that
When
shit.
you hear underground production in the club, like in the performance venue, like the Fillmore, it's like okay, the beats are hitting, they fire. This is what we used to, but it's just like when the Hit Boy beats come on, it's just like oh okay, okay. There's obviously a difference in sounding. That Hit Boy shit just sounds so full in that venue, bro. And I feel like that's the same way I felt when I seen
Mm-hmm.
Baby Mother. I'm like, wait, Foisey made this beat? And it's like some crazy shit. And I'm like, no, this record feels big, bro. Like this doesn't just feel like no, oh, somebody found the sample and flipped it and added some stock drums under it. It's like, oh no, this record feel like I was about to say something about Ye, but I ain't even gonna mention Ye. This record just feels like I don't know. You get what I'm trying to say though. It's just like the record just feels different, bro.
No, I do entirely. And it's funny you're saying all this because like I get what you mean, but at the same, like as it relates to this album, like as of now, but like a lot of what you're saying, I feel like I notice a bit of a difference. Maybe it's just like in the details, like refined to where like I feel like beat wise, this album is like so much
Oh
variety.
yes, there's
You're in
definitely a
so
lot of
many
more
different
drums.
bags. The beat switches,
Yes.
as we mentioned earlier, and I just think the production quality is just really outstanding. And it's like in different ways. Like what was that? What was that musical vision like you had in mind for this record?
Yo, I had so many different visions, bro. When I first started working on this album, I was really gonna go like the natural underground way. Like I wanted beats from Sadhu, Obliv, Twami, whoever you can think of that I've worked with before. I wanted to work with them, but the timing wasn't completely right. So it pushed me to a space to where I had to like rely on community around me. So I was hitting a lot of producers like Hand 11, just like a lot of producers I'm in community with. I just started like, hey, can you guys send me beat packs? Can you guys send me beat packs? A lot of people were sending packs. I was working on records. Dirty Art Club, I was working on a lot of beats from him that I had left over from I Really Never Been Better. That's how I made So You Really Don't Miss Me. That was one of the beats from the last beat pack. So I was really going to my community. And then when I finished the first edition of the album, I thought to myself, do I want to make the same album as I've Really Never Been Better? And I'm like, no, I don't. So I just changed my writing formula. I think in like 2022, 2023, a lot of remixes were being made. Like people just remaking, taking a beat, flipping it, and redoing the song. So I told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm going to start remaking a lot of other people's songs from 2006, but I'm not going to take their beat. I'm just going to flip that hook around on some 50 Cent hot in here. 50 Cent, it's an interview when 50 Cent said, Lloyd Banks got a song called "It's Burning Hot" and we on fire. Shawty, take it off if it get too hot. 50 Cent say he took that from Nelly's like it's hot in here, so take off all your clothes. He said he just flipped the shit around. So before I seen that interview,
Mm.
that's what I was doing. A spoiler alert: I'm signed to Lex now. I'm up. That's a Young Jeezy record. That's a record called "Who Dat," to where he say, "How that shit go?" Damn, dude, I can't think. What did Jesus say? Get it on the flow. Get it on the flow. Last night, I swear to God, 500,000 on the flow. And on my shit, I'm like, get it on the flow. Get it on the flow. I was last night, I swear to God, 500,000 on the flow. I was sleeping in the trap with just a pillow on the flow. Now I'm backstage where I just seen Willow in his hoe. So it's like,
I love that
and
part.
and again, bro, I ain't need Jeezy lyrics. It ain't like I'm biting. I'm like, how can I do something that people is familiar with, and they not even gonna know they familiar with it? You feel me?
Yeah, that's exactly because it felt familiar, but
You
I
couldn't
didn't
even
I
you
didn't
couldn't
make
even
that
do it. You
connection.
couldn't even tie it
No.
together if you wanted to, bro. Like unless you like really, really, really. But because I don't know how old are you, but I'm figuring like we the same age, probably close to the same age.
I'm 30, so I feel like we're
Yeah, I'm
close.
32. So it's like we
Yeah.
remember, but we not really remembering shit from '06, '07. But it's
Oh
some
yeah,
people who
totally.
like 40 plus who like, oh, I know exactly what that is, bro. Because when that song came out, I was living life. So I made maybe like 5 records. I made 5 records with that type of style. I did 2 Jeezy records. I did Rich Boy Throw Some D's on it. Flip that. I did some like just flipping people's some of their lyrics and turning it into hooks. So I wrote like 5 records like that. The melodic joints. If on the Bandcamp version of the album, there's a bonus record called "What Did I Do for Real," and on that, that's a more melodic song. I made like 5 to 10 records like that. I made 5 to 10 up tempo trap records. So I was just really exploring it, like just experimenting with the sounds, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to give people the same album. Like, if I have a new situation with Lex, and Lex is supporting me with my new sound, with me experimenting, doing whatever I want, I should just hit the gas on them. But I also was very like aware of my audience. I know my audience don't want to hear this from me. So it was a battle. I was going back and forth with, am I going to give the people what they want? Do the people even know what they want? Or am I just going to be me and give people what I want to give them? So I was stuck in between the two because my last single, Instagram Highlights, that was originally going. I was going to do a video for King of Charlotte for that record and have that be like the last video for the album. But I was like, I don't think my fans want that. I think my fans want something hip hopish, something that they can put their finger on and say, "This is the artist I fell in love with." I feel like I was talking to Lex
Mm.
about this when we did the video for 360 Photo Booth. We did a video for 360 Photo Booth, and I'm Getting Too Famous. But we ended up refilming I'm Getting Too Famous because it didn't feel how I wanted it to feel. But I remember when I'm at dinner with one of the A&Rs, and I'm telling them, I'm like, yo, I feel like my audience might not like my trap records, and I don't give a fuck if they don't like it, right? I just need the best visual. So if as long as people like the video, I feel like the record will grow on them. You know, if there's something about it that they can keep going to. That's why if you watch the I'm Getting Too Famous video, it's damn near like a movie to where I'm on the phone. We setting up like the gun, whatever it is. It's pretty much a movie because I wanted people to be able to go back and watch something and be like, okay, I fuck with this record now, rather than me giving people a regular rap video and they're like, I don't really like the record. And the video was cool, but when you give somebody like something like film worthy, it'll grow on them. And I just took that chance. I'm like, hopefully this shit'll grow on them. And there was a lot of comments of people liking certain things and not liking certain things. And I feel like I was just over explaining. And I should have been on some Kendrick shit and just like, don't say nothing. Just let people think what they want to think. But I'm like, I'm not Kendrick yet. So I have to tell these people.
Do you feel like you ended up veering on the side of like let me do what I want, or did you veer more on the side of like let me give people more what they were hoping they were gonna get from the artist they've come to love?
I feel like 60% I gave people what they wanted and 40% I did what I wanted. Um, so it's like the
Mm.
up tempo records, like the King of Charlotte, 360 photo, excuse me, King of Charlotte, 360 photo booth, I'm Getting Too Famous. Just those 3 records. I had to do what I wanted to do. I'm like, no, I have to experiment with a new sound. But I really questioned that shit. Like, I had to get emotional support from Lex. Like they're like, hey, we with you. We trust this vision. We know it's gonna work. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't think it's gonna work. I think people gonna hate it. You know,
360 Photo Booth's my favorite song,
bro.
I think,
Fucking
or
thank you.
like top two with maybe like yeah, I should, and it's why also like side note like that being a navy blue beat like I mean, he's talented as fuck, but he doesn't make a lot of beats like
Right.
that. That like you hear that on like some I listen to that on my good speakers, And that shit, that's like what you're saying, that fullness, like the bass
Yeah,
line, and then the way you guys are catching the vibe of the like the pocket of the beat. It's such a good song.
yeah, man. I remember listening to that beat. I remember just like making a record, and I was just in the up tempo way of the album. And I'm like, yo, I remember I had 3 track beats from Navy Blue that I put to a side. Then I went to that folder again, and I found 360 photo booth, and I was like, oh shit. So I made the demo for the record. It took me a while to like be 100% confident with that record. I still don't think I am. But I love it. But it's just the flow. I usually don't flow like that. So flow with a boy to get long and form, and then for the D D D, you know, I just don't rap like that, bro. So
Hmm.
it's just like fuck, bro.
But that's what I mean. Those little things in the delivery on this album, I feel like I really noticed it, being like, damn, that's like staying with me. Like I'm like remembering that
Yeah,
little inflection or that little change. And I think that speaks to like the other piece, like me, like production wise, and then the songwriting. I think on this album is like one of my biggest takeaways because like the hooks are like super sticky, but even like within verses, like your flows, the way it's playing off the beat, like it's changing a bit. It's kind of morphing with time. Like those little details. Like I think it was like I think it's the end of the bat. It's like the yeah, it's like the end towards the end of Butter Leather where your
oh, the
delivery is
Chuck
like
Strangers
just
beat.
like a quarter more
That's
whispery.
my new favorite
Yeah,
flow.
yeah, and it's
That's my
like
new.
just
Yeah,
those little things where I'm like, ah, man, the way you change it is just interesting. Or like the really rhythmic part on the second half of like Drug Nights in Edgewood. Like that's the shit that I find myself like really remembering, and I'm remembering certain lyrics. Like, um, I just think that was like super interesting on this record, like those details.
yo, if it was up to me, if I didn't care about the fans, that whole album would have been in that whispery flow. Cause that's my new favorite shit to do. It's just like,
It's sick.
yeah, just trying to figure out another thing too. I said this in an interview I did with the homie Jared in London. But another reason why I rapped on a lot of more up tempo beats is because I get a lot of comparisons to Rock Marciano, West Side Gun, Uncle John. Shouts out to all these people. I love them, but it's just like I don't want to be compared to people no more. So it's like, okay, if this is who people is comparing me to, I'm about to just switch the sound and switch the flows. I remember telling myself,
Mm.
it's like, yo, excuse me. I just remember telling myself, it's like, yo, I would much rather people tell me they don't like my music rather than reading comments of people saying, "Oh yeah, this sound like West Side Gun. This sound like Griselda esque. This is Mock Ish." So that right there kind of like gave me enough confidence. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna keep getting compared to these people, I'm gonna have to really switch it up. And I would rather people compare me to like industry standard artists rather than
Yeah, no, exactly. And yeah, I just think you emptied the clip on this album. Like, there's so many bars that are
and there's
memorable,
no
like the
comparisons
Cardi
either.
B look-alike contest. No, no, not at
Yeah,
all. Like there was so many lyrics that I found myself even on like 3 listens in that I'm like, oh, I already had it in my head memorized, and I'm not the best with that. I'm not like a person who memorizes lyrics super quickly, and I'm like, I just had the Cardi B look-alike
yeah.
contest.
No, that shit
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
it's just like that shit is so
That
good.
shit is crazy.
uh,
Think of me right. Imagine me writing that shit, bro. I'm just like, yo, this kind of crazy.
it is.
I think I'm my
It
biggest
is.
fan
It
when it comes to
is.
my lyrics to the point to where it's just be like, I think I'll be gassing myself. Cause I think a lyric be crazy fire, and then I'll play it for somebody, and I'll be waiting for their reaction. They don't say nothing. I'll be like, damn. Then I have to explain it like, yo, did you hear what I said? They're like, no, I heard you, and I'll be like, damn, because that shit is next level to me.
So, you were talking about like looking in the future now. You were talking a bit about these next records that you have in the pipeline. Like what should fans be on the lookout for as far as like new music in the future or tour dates coming up or merch, anything like that?
Um, I'll be in Brooklyn February 21st at Loudmouth Brooklyn. I'll be in Atlanta March 14th. Just check my page or email me. I'll send you the details or check lexrecords.com. I'm doing an event in Charlotte today at 5 p.m. A listening session for my album. What else? As far as
Yeah.
the new music, I would say for people to just expect kind of like a change in my subject matter. I'm trying to stop the braggadocious stuff and just like more heartfelt music. I feel like vulnerability and giving people hope is what's going to take my music to the next level. Because a lot of the writers that I study or a lot of writers that I love and listen to, that's what they give me. They give me vulnerability and they give me hope. An example: No Name, Arlo Parks, Saba, J. Cole. Even, I was gonna tell you on Twitter, you tripping on J. Cole, bro. Well,
Man,
I ain't wanna. I
I
don't like
think
sharing my
I think
personal
as
opinions.
I
I don't
think
like sharing my personal opinions as an artist on the internet because I feel like that might stop something. I feel like I should just be like a brand. I should be like Walmart when it comes to social media.
I think that's
Yeah,
smart.
I
I
don't.
think that's
But it
smart.
be a lot of conversations I've seen. I'm like, oh y'all tripping on J. Cole. Like what? But it's like
I
I don't want somebody to see me supporting J. Cole and be like, you know what? Fuck you and your new album. But it's like, yeah.
Oh no, yeah, and Joe, trust me, like I think you're making a really good decision because ever since really, it's always been kind of like Stan Wars online, but ever since that beef a while ago, like everything you say about any of those artists are just like the comments and the
Yeah.
replies. There's so much emotion in it where I'm like, yo, like saying things I didn't say. To be clear, you could totally, and that's the thing that annoys me so much about what that thing I put out because like I said for people who aren't following me, like I said, J. Cole is one of the worst mainstream rappers when it comes to producing his own beats and beat selection. And yes, it's Twitter, it's a little hyperbolic, but the point I was trying to make is like, man, I've been a fan of J. Cole. Like I was a fan of his since 2009. Like I like mostly everything he put out until even For Your Eyes Only I thought was like pretty good. But the main thing is like I just like I don't get like why the beats he's not the worst producer as far as like making bad beats like but he makes so much mediocre and dull beats and I just don't get it like you're J. Cole like because I actually think rapping wise I was impressed with like a good amount of the new album. I thought some of the storytelling shit when he was leaning to that I
Shit
was
was
like oh
crazy.
this is kind of what I was actually hoping for that we were gonna get because I've been impressed with like some of the features and I even think his last record was like pretty decent. It seemed better than what he had been putting out before for the past few years. But anyways, uh yeah, I think to go back to your point, I think that's a good call because you never want to you don't want to get tangled up with that because people will literally do that. They'd be like, no, you don't fuck with J. Cole, well then I'm not going to listen to your music. And it's
Yeah,
like
I can't get caught up in that.
you could be making the best music in the world and they will literally have that opinion and they'll think it's intelligent.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. I'm releasing a new shirt too. As far as merch, a lot of people can buy the vinyls, cassettes, CDs from my personal Bandcamp, Lord Jah-Monte Ogbon at bandcamp.com or Lex Records. Or if you search up the As of Now album link tree, it'll show you all the stores that the album is in. So I just want all the supporters to just, support with your dollar if you can. Like, I appreciate everybody supporting with their hearts and ears and fingers. But it's like, hey, if you can support with your dollar, that would help. And I feel like the
Absolutely.
more I'm supported, it's just the more support I get, the more support I give out to people. As far as like other artists, videographers, producers. This is like the more that I can do, the more I'm able to help everybody around me because everybody can't get to the point to where their music is getting heard or they're working with a PR or they're able to do shows in Miami. So I have a whole community of artists behind me and on the side of me, excuse me. So the more I go up, the more opportunities I can make for a lot of other people. Like my homie DJ Ray, he about to
Yeah,
drop an album
absolutely.
called Daredevil Cartwheel, and I have a single on that album, and he's releasing it on vinyl. So we trying to do everything we can to get this album out, especially on the press side.
Yo, I'm seeing the I'm seeing the t-shirts right now. These are sick. One of them, I'm actually so impressed because I actually had the mental association without knowing you made a shirt and knowing like this is what you were talking about, that posted at the function in the corner they don't even
Yeah,
know. I did think of the meme when you said it, but I was like, oh, maybe that's not what you were going at, but that is exactly what you're fucking going with.
that
That's
was
sick.
another thing for
That's
I'm
so
signed to
funny.
Lex now. When I was writing it, I'm like, what can I write that people are unfamiliar, that people are just like unknowingly familiar with? And then when it's like I'm posted at the function in the corner, they don't even know what I'm about to do, and that's like what I'm about to do part is like,
Yeah, it made sense. Like,
too easy, bro.
that's sick. That's sick. But yeah, I really hope everybody listening supports the new album, supports any of the merch. If you're in town around any of those cities, New York, Charlotte, like go check out Jah-Monte on tour, any of these events. Yeah, man, I just think this album's like one of the early favorites of the year, and it's just really cool seeing all the thought and the work that you put in kind of come to fruition here. I feel like you just really deserve the spotlight, and it was fun chatting with you, man. I hope you
Yes,
enjoyed as
sir. I
well.
appreciate you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rap Music Plug podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and want to not only support the show, but join the fastest growing community of like-minded indie rap fans, go to patreon.com, search for the Rap Music Plug podcast, and become a patron. You will gain access to an exclusive patron-only Discord that me and 70 plus people engage with on the regular, as well as other patron-only benefits such as exclusive access to the iconic RMPP listening parties, album recommendations, and much more. So if you have any questions about any of the Patreon stuff, or just want to keep tabs on the show, interact with me on rap music and all the great stuff that we can talk about, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at rapmusicplugpod, or shoot me an email at qlctv.podcast@gmail.com. You can also rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify as well. But that's enough self-promotion for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.